greatest empire in the Americas. Hundreds of thousands of warriors. Entire cities connected by roads, bridges, and fortresses. A ruler believed to be a living god, and yet, less than 200 men managed to destroy it. How was that possible? At the beginning of the 16th century, the Inca Empire was a colossal power. Its territory stretched for thousands of kilometers, covering much of the Andes Mountains and the western coast of South America. It was an organized, centralized, and remarkably efficient empire for its time. The state controlled food production, storage, roads, and even the labor of its population. In times of war, it could rapidly mobilize hundreds of thousands of men. Any adult male could be called up. These soldiers came from many conquered peoples, spoke different languages, and brought their own fighting styles. Some warriors specialized in slings, capable of hurling stones with enough force to crush a human skull. Others used bolas to entangle and knock enemies down from a distance. Spears, wooden and stone maces completed their arsenal. They were not unprotected. Inca warriors wore hardened wool helmets, shields, and padded armor. They were not primitive, they were effective within the rules of warfare in their world. At the top of everything stood the Sapa Inca. More than a king, he was believed to be a direct descendant of the sun. His authority was not only political, but religious. Questioning him was unthinkable. Touching him was sacrilege. And it was precisely this powerful, rigid, and deeply symbolic system that collided with something completely unexpected. In 1532, a small group of foreigners reached the borders of the empire. Led by Francisco Pizarro, they numbered only 168 men at the decisive moment. A few foot soldiers, some early firearms, steel swords, and horses. To the Incas, horses were not just strange animals, they were unknown creatures, massive, fast, terrifying. Many believed horse and rider were a single being. But the real danger wasn't just the weapons or the animals, it was strategy. When Pizarro advanced inland, the Inca Empire was already weakened. A smallpox epidemic, introduced years earlier by Europeans, had killed millions, including the previous emperor. His death triggered a brutal civil war between his sons. Atahualpa won that war shortly before the Spaniards arrived. He was the new Sapa Inca, but his power was still fragile. That was the moment when two worlds collided in the city of Cajamarca. Atahualpa entered the city with absolute confidence. He was carried on a golden litter surrounded by thousands of attendants. His warriors were present but unarmed for war. To him, these foreigners were curiosities, not a real threat. But Pizarro knew exactly what he was doing. He hid his men around the plaza. He prepared an ambush. When Atahualpa arrived, a Spanish emissary presented a Bible and demanded that the emperor accept Christianity and submit to the King of Spain. Atahualpa did not understand the object. He did not recognize its authority. He threw the Bible to the ground. That was all Pizarro needed. Suddenly, hell broke loose. The Spaniards burst from hiding. Firearms exploded, filling the air with smoke, fire, and deafening noise, sounds never before heard on that continent. Horses charged at impossible speed, trampling men who had never seen anything like them. Panic spread instantly. Thousands of Incas were trapped in a confined space. They tried to flee but crushed each other. Many died without ever being struck by a sword, suffocated or trampled by their own people. At the center of the chaos, Pizarro made a decisive move. He attacked Atahualpa's litter directly. The Spaniards killed the carriers one by one. Each time one fell, another immediately took his place. For the Incas, allowing the emperor to touch the ground was unthinkable. Until the litter finally collapsed. Atahualpa was captured alive, and in that moment, everything stopped. The Inca army froze. No orders, no reaction, no resistance. Thousands of Inca warriors surrounded the Spaniards, but no one dared attack. The emperor was in enemy hands, and his life mattered more than any military victory. To save him, the Incas offered something unimaginable. They filled an entire room with gold and silver, a ransom so vast it would make every one of Pizarro's men rich for life. The gold was delivered, and still, Atahualpa was executed, strangled. Without the Sapa Inca, the heart of the empire was torn out. Rebellions continued, resistance flared up, but the central structure never recovered. The greatest empire in the Americas had fallen. Not because of numbers, but because of a clash between two worlds. Steel against stone, horses against men on foot, invisible diseases, strategy against symbolism, and above all, a belief so absolute in the emperor that when he fell, everything fell with him. This was not just a military conquest, It was a psychological, cultural, and spiritual defeat. And that is how fewer than 200 men brought down an entire empire. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. See you next time.